If you want to grow into a stronger leader, earn a promotion, or position yourself for bigger opportunities, you need more than ambition. You need a clear leadership development plan. The problem is that most people either don't have one or they create plans that are too vague to actually move the needle. In today's video, we'll show you how to build a leadership development plan that's realistic, strategic, and actually helps you grow your influence, your leadership skills, and your career opportunities. By the end of this video, you'll learn the biggest mistake that professionals make when creating a leadership development plan, how to identify the right leadership skills to focus on instead of trying to improve everything all at once, a simple framework to turn leadership growth into measurable progress so you actually see results. If you're serious about becoming a stronger leader or positioning yourself for your next promotion, this video is for you. If you don't know me, I'm Portia of Fly High Coaching, where we've helped thousands of executives and professionals soar to their full potential in their careers. So first, you want to start with the leadership role that you actually want. And you want to think about that. So most people, they're creating development plans based on their current job instead of the role that they're trying to grow into. So that's think about where you're going, not where you are. Leadership development should be future focused and not reactive. To do that, you want to define your leadership destination. So where do you want to be in 1 to 3 years? Manager level, senior manager, director, executive, an entrepreneurial leader, all of those could be good goals. Your development plan should align with your career trajectory. Then you want to reverse engineer the skills that are needed. So study leaders that are already in your target role. You will probably start to identify some recurring competencies. So usually things like strategic thinking, executive communication, stakeholder management, change leadership, decision making under pressure. Those are usually some things that you'll be able to see that other leaders have that you might want to develop. If you want more support around your leadership development, sign up for our Career 911 Masterclass linked below. You also want to identify your leadership gaps. So you want to conduct an honest self-assessment. Ask yourself, what feedback do I consistently receive? What leadership situations challenge me? What skills are holding me back from advancement? The answers to those questions should be worked into your plan. You also can seek an outside perspective. So working with asking managers, mentors, executive coaches, trusted peers. Those individuals are usually objective in their feedback and they have an understanding of the situation. I want you to notice that I did not mention friends and family. Those people are part of what I call your personal support system. Your career support system should be different. Your friends and family are usually very biased, either positively or negatively, and their feedback is generally not as helpful. Also, an outside perspective is important because even if you're a high performer, you have blind spots or weaknesses. You also want to avoid the improving everything trap. Leadership growth requires prioritization. So you want to focus on 2 or 3 high impact skills, not 10 all at once. Trying to improve every leadership skill at once is like trying to get fit by doing every single workout program on the internet, right? You overwhelm yourself, but you're also making little progress. Second, you want to create a leadership plan with specific measurable actions. So growth happens with intentional action, not just wishful thinking. A leadership development plan should include clear goals, behaviors, and accountability. So let's talk about goals first. You want to set specific leadership goals. So instead of saying something like, I want to be a better leader, you could think of something like, I want to improve executive presence in meetings. Or I want to become stronger at influencing senior stakeholders. Those things are very specific. Then you want to turn skills into behaviors. So leadership growth becomes real when it's tied into daily actions. So for example, let's stick with executive communication here. If you want to work on executive communication, you would say, hey, I'm going to speak up at least once in these senior meetings. I'm going to practice concise messaging when I do speak to other executives or leaders. And then I'm going to take a lead, right? I'm going to lead presentations more frequently. Delegation is another important thing. So you can stop over-functioning or doing everything. And you want to assign ownership when you delegate instead of micromanaging. Strategic thinking is also important. So you want to spend time weekly on big picture planning and contribute ideas beyond just immediate responsibilities. And you can build learning into your leadership development plan. Development sources of information could be stretch assignments that you're actually doing at work, cross-functional projects, reading leadership books and listening to podcasts. We have a lot of leadership podcast episodes on the Career 101 podcast if you want to check that out. Mentorship, executive coaching, internal leadership programs at your company. One thing we've had clients do is invest in working with us for their leadership. And then when they tell their manager, I'm actually developing my leadership skills, I've even invested in working with a leadership coach, that can go a long way. You also want to put timelines around growth, right? So you want to have 30, 60, 90-day milestones for yourself to keep you on track. So you can ask, what would progress with this leadership skill look like in 30 days? What behavior change should happen by 90 days? At that point, you want to focus on creating accountability. So you can share goals with a coach, a manager, or a mentor. You can schedule quarterly self-reviews where you look back at your plan and then think about how it's going. You want to obviously track your wins and your lessons learned. And then you want to think that a leadership development plan sitting in a document that nobody looks at is just career wallpaper. It's not doing anything for you. You actually have to take the steps and be accountable. And then finally, you want to measure progress and adjust your plan over time. So leadership development is ongoing. It's not just a one and done thing. We've already talked about a lot of different leadership skills that could be part of your plan. The best leaders are continuously refining their growth strategy. To do that, you want to ask for feedback regularly. Some questions to ask. What am I doing well as a leader? Where do you see opportunities for growth? What would make me more effective? You want to measure results, not just effort. So by measuring results, you're looking for indicators. So some indicators could be greater visibility at work, increased influence, stronger relationships, more strategic responsibilities, promotion readiness. Those are things that you can think about. Then you want to reassess your leadership priorities. So the skill that you needed today might not be the skill that you need next year. So, for example, when we work with early career leaders, a lot of times communication and confidence are some of the skills that are most important for them. But when we're working with senior leaders, influence, executive presence, organizational strategy, those might be skills that are more important. Now, you also want to celebrate your progress, which is very hard for a lot of high performers to do because they're thinking about what's the next thing, what's the next thing, what's the next thing. But leadership growth is often gradual. So you want to recognize your wins to help you stay motivated. And then you also want to be flexible. So career goals, they evolve, and your leadership development plan, it should evolve too. The strongest leaders aren't the ones who know everything. They're the ones that are committed to continuous growth. So I know that was a lot. Let's recap. If you want a leadership development plan that actually works, first, you want to get clear on the leadership role that you're working toward and identify the skills that matter most. Second, you want to create a plan that's built around measurable actions, not just vague intentions. And then third, you want to consistently evaluate your progress and adjust as you grow. So, leadership development isn't about becoming perfect overnight. It's about intentional growth over time. And the professionals who take ownership for their leadership growth are often the ones who earn bigger opportunities, right? Stronger influence, faster career development and advancement. If this video helped you, be sure to subscribe for more career and leadership strategies to help you grow in your career, strengthen your leadership skills, and position you for long-term success.